game help. Here on the expert playlist. We don't need game help, okay? The only help we need is figuring out how to get to the end of this as quickly as possible because, wow, it's Alan Wake, guys. What am I signing my life over to? What are we doing? Okay, I won't pirate it. I mean, you have it available in an only digital format, you know? Somebody's gonna want some of your digital booty. It's just the way of the world. Especially when you're the highly anticipated sequel to what I feel is a sleeper hit of the what do we say, like early to late? No, I'd say mid to late 2010s. I personally loved the original Alan Wake, even though for some reason I couldn't get a lot of people around me to play the original Alan Wake, at least in the circles that I ran around in. Everyone was playing shooters, they were playing Call of Duty, especially at that point. At around 2010, people were definitely into their CODs and their Gears and their Street Fighters and their Mortal Kombats. Like, a lot of the people I hung around played a lot of competitive games. So, as far as playing something that wasn't overtly, action-based and that did rely heavily on story like Alan Wake did, it was a really hard sell. Especially after Max Payne went dormant for some time. You don't tell a crowd trained on Max Payne that they're about to play a game as a writer who kills his enemies with the beams from his flashlight. At the time, I don't think I had known too many people who were very big into film. So, as far as the places where I rolled, this was kind of a sleeper hit among us. However, I hear this one is more of more overtly a survival horror game, more overtly psychological horror. I didn't really find myself too creeped out or frightened by the original Alan Wake. It was more surreal and weird than it was actively terrifying. So to see the game constantly, referred to in that frame when people are praising it, or to see really prominent survival horror streamers and media personalities comment on, just how effective it is at the horror aspect of it, I don't know, man. I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of terrified. And I don't know whether or not Alan Wake has it in him, but we're going to find out tonight. So, expert playlist number 539. Alan Wake 2. Whoa. See, this is what we love to hear. We love crazy atmospheric music, okay? Okay, so I think the sound effects may need to take a little bit of a rest. Dialogue tight, right? Bass reduction. What's wrong with you? Wait. Dialogue vibration intensity. What does that mean? Should I just turn that all the way up? Equalizer. What? Wow, that is. That's wild. I don't even know what that would be for, though I can imagine. Do you think people use that like dialogue? not trying to be drowned out, okay? My inside voice is not very insidey. All right, let's get this thing started. I feel like when Remedy says hard, they really mean it. You know what I mean? At least that's how I feel.
Back to the beginning. We all come to a story with hopes and expectations, looking for an answer. Sometimes it would be better to live with that hope without ever knowing the full story.
I'm not bugging.
In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the story I hoped it would be. This is not the ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces. We're naked. We're in the woods.
Please. Can you hear me? Whoa.
Come on in. We should go.
Nah, man, throw Ed a jacket. Throw me a jacket.
Oh, where'd he gone?
You know, he's barely coherent, but otherwise he seems pretty alright. Normally I would be against listening to the voices. But circumstances are circumstances would dictate that yes. It's only a matter of time before I get caught and arrested for indecent exposure, so forget that this is just computer code. Like, just everything looks and behaves so naturally that you're just immediately immersed. Nothing's happening. That is what is happening here, my friends. And I hope you're living for it as much as I am, because we've been staring at we've been staring at this man's ass for like the past 5 minutes. Go on. I don't want to sprint through this. I'm good with limping through this right now. I'm good. Okay, maybe we can limp a little bit faster. I don't. Dark alleyway. This is one of those moments where you think you're running towards whatever it is. God, Bob! Bob! Oh, hell, no!
Not cold. Where? Hemingway.
That's when they start your,
We're starting now. The calls of the tree. Watch the lights. What's up, motherfucker? Where's the rest of the stuff? I need to finish this. I'm done. What the fuck? Shit.
this is on y'all. See, y'all saw Bob stumbling through the forest with his mother out, and you decided to leave him alone, and then he got caught by the deer people. It's so terrible. It explains absolutely nothing as to why this man I can't talk during this. Shit is crazy. It's just,
Hey, kiddo. How
it's
are
an
you?
editing nightmare.
I'm good, Mom. How are you?
Oh,
This
James,
trip
you
might
got
take
this
a little
far
longer than I
this fast?
thought.
Oh, that's
I'm
Max's
sorry
name,
I've
bro.
been gone so much lately, Logan.
Oh my god, Mom, it's not your fault people get all murdery. What happened?
Just work stuff.
Right. Well, Dad and I are just watching the latest episode of Night Springs
Don't
here.
watch that
Mom,
show.
it's
No,
so
don't,
good.
don't.
No
don't.
spoilers. I'll let you get back
It's
to
like
the
the
show.
Twilight
You were
Zone
supposed
of
to
their
wait and
universe,
watch with
but
me.
still,
I love you both.
This is what
it's like the
happens when you
characters
go
in
on work
Black
trips,
Mirror
Mom.
suddenly watching
Love
Black
you too. And say hi to Casey. Tell him to stop brooding so much.
Whatever.
Logan?
Whenever characters on Black Mirror are watching
I
that
will.
universe's version of Netflix,
Bye, kiddo.
It's like that. It just makes me narratively uncomfortable.
Logan thinks you should try cheering up.
Snarky kid. Wonder where she gets that from.
Looks like Sam Lake. Love the synchronized sip of the coffee.
It can't be a coincidence that another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Feels like the killer's leaving us a message.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley. You should take lead. Think of me as the backup.
Okay. Any words of advice?
Nothing that would cheer anyone up.
I feel like the audio is out of sync. It's driving me nuts.
Here we are. Cauldron Lake.
Time to get to work. A deputy was supposed to be here to show us to the crime scene. There's the car, so where's the deputy?
Eaten by a bear? I'll check out that map.
Bro, are you Max Payne? Just say that you're Max Payne. I mean, it's like... He's so Max Payne-y.
Worth memorizing before we get swallowed up by the trees.
He's even talking in metaphors.
I think I hear someone. Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
We've even got someone named Mulligan. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, right? So where were we? We're at the parking lot by the rental cabins and the bony-legged path. The bony-legged path. Where are we in general? Cauldron Lake. Where is Cauldron Lake? Where in the Midwest? Where in the northern Midwest are we? Where in the southern eastern hemisphere are we? I do feel like we're in a flyover town, though, at the very least. Maybe we're somewhere in the Midwest. It's usually where all the freaky shit happens, right? In the quiet Midwestern towns. Feel sorry for y'all, you know.
Hey, over
I
here.
mean, don't get me wrong, like, weird shit happens in New York all the time, but at least we're not haunted. We just have weird people.
Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case.
Saga.
Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am.
So familiar.
I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that,
When are those damn fits gonna show up, Mulligan?
It'd be two dudes.
federal agent's right here, Thornton. My partner, Thornton, down at the crime scene. He's not what you call the sharpest axe in the shed.
Right here? What do you mean? Are they with you? Oh, shit! They didn't hear me, did they?
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
Tell them about the heart.
I was getting to that, Thornton. Well, we
I like
reckon
these
there are
guys
some
already. I like 'em.
organs that are currently outside the victim's person when they should be, well, you know, inside.
They're FBI agents, just saying.
Were there any
They
witnesses?
cut out his organs
Yeah,
and left
couple
them outside of
out-of-towners.
his body.
I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
Mention the city folk. It's pretty suspicious.
Not that we have anything against city folk, right, Thornton?
Bumpkins. And I no offense
But
to
don't
my
worry.
bumpkins.
Sheriff Breaker took them
But-
back to town a while ago.
Bumpkins.
I want to see the body. How do we
I
get
mean,
there?
I can just
Oh,
drive
sure,
5 hours
that's real
upstate
simple.
To see people like
Just
this.
through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience
There's a
store.
wonderful
You can't miss it.
simplicity to,
Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
really small places where
Tell them I'm here.
everybody knows everybody.
Show 'em around.
They got it, Thornton.
They live these little insular lives.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
Kind of the timing I would love to be on when I'm old. I don't know if I'd want to keep living in an ever-changing environment like New York or a big city in my old age. Not sure about that, you know? Let's see. I have a whole case board? Oh, great.
The Mind Place.
The what?
My version of the Mind Palace technique.
What?
To sift through clues and work the
I thought
case.
this was going to be a menu
Building
screen.
the Mind Place again for each case. Using each field office as a model in my head. The facts are on the board.
This is like the Destiny Tower, where we have something thematically amazing that could have been accomplished with a static menu screen. There's something to be said about making it this tangible.
Everything we know about the
So
previous
cool.
murders. Worth taking another look.
I mean, you know, that's how you get away with not making Amanda Holiday in Destiny a character for like 7 years. Because you made people physically run to her to get things. So there was meaning and significance in the characterization and in there being a tangible physical thing you could see. Now, say if you combine that physical space, that visual storytelling aspect with actual storytelling, oh my gosh. Imagine. What I'm saying is we're about to see that. We're about to see that here for sure. Remedy does not play. And they've earned that reputation. Alright, let's see. Let's check this out. What is this? A series of murders have occurred around the town of Bright Falls. Finding the connections will help our search for the killer. Well, that's true. Okay. All victims reported missing in 2010. No other commonalities. Now, I want to see if any of these people kind of coincide, because I don't know whether or not Alan Wake takes place in real time, but the original Alan Wake came out in 2010. So, if we're on the timeline, you know, you think these could be I don't know whether any of these are like related. You know, to what happened in Bright Falls around Alan in the original. Ted Lane had stab wounds, bloating, bruising on the wrists. Wendy Davis, teacher, body bloated, large chest wound. Percy Wolf, store owner, bruising. Oh, that must have been me, Percy Wolf, earlier. That's who he was. Store owner, bruising, heart removed, strange tattoos. Slight difference in murders. Bloating, only commonality in bodies, but not cause of death. Trust trauma. Exposure to water post-mortem, probably. Bruising on wrists and legs, of course, from being tied up. Deep gash in the chest, heart missing. Ugh. Okay, very obvious what's happening there. Post-mortem tattooing of the body. Murder targets have no discernible common traits. Chest trauma resembles animal butchery techniques. How did you even get there? But, okay. So, anything new that Saga finds that's pertinent, that relates to the case, will go up in her literal brain room. She has a mental space, a physical mental space, where she collects and collates her clues. That's surreal and incredible. I would love to envision paragraphs in my head and just be transported to a small room with a single desk and a old school typewriter.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene.
Visiting the mine place does not pause the game. Holy shit. It doesn't even pause the dialogue. She could not hear anything outside of the mine place. That's wild. I mean, it's very compelling, but... DW Sunshine. With the lurk in the clutch. What would I... You know...
Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
I mean, it's a pretty potent cliche, but there's a reason it's a cliche. It tracks, I mean.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that...
I'm not that... Okay. A younger person would have gotten the word out all while cartwheel flipping down. Are you sure about that? Anybody ever tell you you look like Max Payne? I'm just putting that out there.
Not a bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
Yeah, I can't see why not. Look at this place. It's gorgeous.
Damn. Should have brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
I like they're standing there just holding newspapers over their heads. And no, not because, you know, not because it's a greater commentary, but because,
How much clearer can I make
first
it,
two
Mulligan?
doofuses, right?
Hey!
Hi.
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. Now the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you.
Okay. Is that a thermos?
So, FBI, huh? That's so cool. Hunting down psycho serial killers,
Exactly the way I'd react.
shootouts with the mob.
You forgot the UFO cover-ups.
What? Those are real? You guys hiring?
Thornton, he's joking.
Let's just see this body, shall we?
I didn't say the word. I'm trying my best not to use the Y word.
Now this is the scene of the crime. We found him on the table. Now he didn't touch nothing.
And
you know,
there's his wiener.
procedures and stuff.
Crop that out.
Thanks, Deputy.
No tarp.
Believe it or not, you
You
can
owe
show
me a
that.
coffee.
Okay, let's start by examining our guest of honor. Does this fit the MO of the previous murders?
Do they always cut the hearts out and then leave them there?
Step 1. Examine the corpse. Body is positioned on the table. Ritualistic. Another body turns up just as we arrive in town.
Why?
Coincidence?
Will prompt a new question. Is it consistent with the other killings? I would say so. The consistency is in the bloating. Maybe the place where they were found. What? The bloating, the bindings on the hands and feet, and at least for 2 of the victims, an open chest wound. So you have 3 consistencies between these victims and the others. It's not all doo-doo. Hold on. Where is it? Where's the other part of the case board? Give me another file. How do I get another file? Give me that. All right, now check this out. Yeah, see, look. So we have bruising on the leggings and the wristings. Then we got a deep gash in the chest where the heart is missing, and then bloating. All right, and that's across these 3 goobers. R.I.P. But I had to play as this guy and stare at his ass for like 10 minutes, so, I need to... I need to let this out. But yeah, so between the 3 of them, these 3 things are consistent, right? I don't know about post-mortem tattooing of the body. I don't know about that. But all 3 of them have those things in common. So, ergo, if we're going off of the murder on Cauldron Lake, this new body at the very least has 3 of those things. Can I get some yarn? No, we're gonna make this like sit in my brain. It's okay though. Do not look at that old man's genitals. This game is rated M for mature, okay?
Hey, Casey. What's the far's favorite shape?
Please, Anderson. Just one case without the
A triangle.
I don't get it.
Yes, you do.
I encounter Trader Joe's jokes several times a week. And even that was too much for me. It was too much. It was actually too much. And I mean, where do you go from here?
The killer left the heart right next to the body.
Again, I don't know what the significance of that is or why, but I guess we'll find out. I had no idea this was going to be a combination of Alan Wake and Condemned criminal origins. Now, don't get me wrong. I think my favorite part of Condemned was the crime scene investigations, and I thought Monolith really captured, the essence of putting together a crime scene and seeing how something happened in reverse. And then using things like the spectrometer and the black light and added to the immersion.
Bruising on the wrist from the cargo straps holding him down.
Took it even further, and I thought really balanced the tension of solving the crime with the oppressive atmosphere really well. But I didn't see any game try it since. Almost like no game wanted to go down that route. So, honestly, kudos to Remedy, not only for making a game in 2023 that has a, law enforcement or, law enforcement main character, because while I won't say that this is something that doesn't happen often anymore, it is something that I think a lot of companies would probably shy away from just to avoid controversy. People made us think about Spider-Man helping the police, so shout outs to Remedy for being bold here.
Inside stab wound, chest cut open, heart removed.
Harris7, what up, dude? Yeah. We are playing Alan Wake today. Is it consistent with the previous murders? Yes, it is. We've got some major chest trauma, just like I said a second ago. Okay, now we have the restraining item. Cargo straps were used to restrain the victim. Same thing matches up. The bindings match up with the cargo strips, and then heart found near victim's body. I guess that matches up with the cavity.
Doesn't make sense.
I think I understand. Can I switch case files while I'm doing this? No? Oh, well, I was going to put it in the previous book. Doing some co-op for BB. I'm assuming that's the Bloodborns and Dark Souls 3, I'm assuming. Dude, how do you do it? I don't know how you do it. Seriously. You're a freaking Dark Souls beast. Redonkulous. Redonkulous, I say.
Heart removed from chest, strapped by the wrists. Definitely matches the previous murders. But this time the heart and the straps were left behind. More clues to work with. This makes 4 murders that we know about.
So I guess without any physical commonalities, any physical traits or any outward traits that would lead them to be murdered, I guess we're gonna have to go deeper than that. Like, say maybe what kind of lives did these people lead, etc., etc. My man came up in here and said, "Listen, the secret to mastery is bitchlessness." And you know what? To some degree, that's very true. To some degree, that's very true. Would just be time consuming, you know? Sometimes a brief period of bitchlessness is what you need to achieve your ultimate form. I myself have become a tank in my year or so of bitchlessness. It's amazing.
Who is our victim? Who killed him? Need to find more clues.
Remember, you can quick access the map without entering the mind place. That still blows my mind. Again, we could have accomplished this in a menu screen, but the fact that I'm going into my own brain.
Was he killed here or brought here after? For display?
Oh, I have audience omniscience.
Large amount of blood on the table.
He was brought here and killed here.
The victim died here.
I was just about to say that. You know, the amount of blood on the table, the fact that the blood pattern is literally from body to heart. Like, he wasn't dragged here. And plus, he's really, I mean, no offense, bro, but he's really overweight. So the skinny little twigs that killed this man were not dragging his dead body.
Multiple killers?
His dead weight would have been unreal. And yes, actually, I love how you can tell that all the dipshits were wearing different shoes. Like, you can see different foot pattern. You can see different footprints and shoe prints. Look at that. Yes, indeed. All right. That's 2 and 3. Where's 4? Ah, there it is. It's weird cooler. Is this what they were gonna put the heart in?
Someone left in a hurry. Knocked the tripod over. Was it for a camera?
More than likely.
Someone was drinking beer. They spent time here, waiting.
Which is weird to me, because these were obviously crazy cultists that were out to kill an innocent man, and I guess, you know, in service of the weird pagan god or whatever. But from the man's perspective, I still need to know why this man was seeing things. I have not identified the victim yet, even though I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Any idea who the victim is?
Oh, I sure do.
Oh?
His name is Nightingale. He was FBI. He came to town about 13 years ago. Now, I haven't heard a word about him since. Well, until now.
Nightingale.
That's the guy that went after
Nightingale.
Alan Wake.
Oh, yes. You probably knew him. Brothers in arms.
Did know him.
Oh, and sisters.
You did know him.
So you knew our victim?
Well, I didn't recognize him in his current state. But yeah,
Nightingale was the
ran
agent
into him a few
assigned to
times
Alan
in
Wake's
Quantico.
case as well.
Never worked any cases together. After his partner got killed in the field, he went off the deep end. Got the boot pretty quick after that.
So this guy looks like Sam Lake and is probably voiced by James McCaffrey because he sounds like Max Payne. His voice is so recognizable. But he's been missing since 2010. Again, Alan Wake 1 takes place in 2010.
Nightingale went missing 13 years ago. 2010.
The same as all the other victims.
Certainly fits the pattern. Makes me wonder what was going on that year.
Probably something this town wants to forget.
Happened after he got
So what
fired.
happened to Nightingale after the Bureau let him go?
I only know the
Became
rumors.
obsessive.
Depression led to booze. Booze led to paranoia.
Yep.
He got some wild ideas in his head. Chased ghosts until he fell off the map. Guess he ended up here.
I bet there's more to that story.
But no happy ending.
Bro,
I think that's everything.
the man
For now, at
was
least.
stumbling through the woods
Anything clicking
naked,
yet?
Not sure.
seeing a feral
Need to think
Alan
about it.
Wake in his brain. That's not just normal, my friend. I think whatever happened in Bright Falls in the original, I think everyone involved was maybe touched a little bit.
I had to review the
You know what I
clues.
mean? Like, I feel like they might have been touched a little bit. And what I mean by touched is like, you know, they all experienced the presence in their own way. Some of them were taken over by it. Some of them were brought to horrific spiritual places because of it. And I don't know, I don't think you know, I don't think you just come out of that unscathed. Alright, so the victim, what's this one? Thornton. Victim is Robert Nightingale, last seen in Bright Falls 13 years ago. Yeah, Bob. My man Bob.
Keep trying.
Poor dude. Poor Bob. Poor freaking Bob.
Robert Nightingale, ex-FBI, came to Bright Falls 13 years ago.
13 years ago, 2010. Sounds like our victim wasn't mentally stable. Well, you know what? Nightingale was a sharp tack in the first one, and he pursued Alan like a hawk, and seemed to know his next step before he even made it. So he was sharp at one point. I mean, the brain will succumb, right? But I don't know. You'd have to have super dementia to be in the state Bob was in. Bob was hearing voices, okay? I was calling him Bob. I didn't even recognize him as Agent Nightingale. He kind of put on some weight, you know. He kind of did, yeah. Definitely multiple sets of footprints from the ass hat. Heavy blood spatter on table. Ugh.
Boot prints, indicating multiple killers. Quite the party. Okay.
Premeditated or spontaneous. That's another one for that category. I mean, I still say
They planned for the murder to happen here. Passing the time with equipment
Yeah.
ready.
Duh.
They were waiting for
Yeah.
him. But why Nightingale? He's been missing for 13 years. Why here? Why now?
These are all good questions.
Profiling. Get into the subject's head. See what they saw. Feel what they felt. Use whatever I know about them to guide my intuition to a revelation. Piece it together.
Can I start off small? Like, can I go profile a fern? Some kind of house plant? No, just as is a test run. Like, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be something too. It doesn't have to be something too ambitious. You know?
Agent Nightingale has been MIA for 13 years. How did he end up here?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Robert Nightingale came from the lake before his murder.
Yeah, he did. How interesting. I love this. I love this. Okay. Let's see the next.
Nightingale was chosen as the victim.
Yes.
Why?
Flick the switch. It goes click. Lights are off.
Talking like those.
At somebody's home. Somebody's home.
Song. Is that an inverted
This
song
wasn't
lyric?
some random act of violence. This was a ritual. And Nightingale a component. They didn't see him as a person. More like a container for something.
How fascinating. But a container for what? Well, that was hideous and terrifying. Alright, let's hit the wall. Do I have more clues to work on? Alright, what do we got? Nightingale came from Cauldron Lake. But why now after 13 years?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Oh, how hideous. Alright. As far as my headcanon goes, I think that's all we have for now, so. What's this?
Casey's favorite brand. Tastes terrible.
Wild Valley Irish whiskey? Of course it is. Of course it is.
My first ever prank on Casey. A true classic.
This is in your brain.
This mug always cheers me
Not
up.
the worst mom. What does the other side say? That's the real rub. Anyway, it's your brain, lady.
The lake is connected to Nightingale somehow. Casey, let's take a look down by the lake. Lead the way.
Sounds good. This way, right?
Right.
Well, okay. Well, I'll just wait here.
I mean, you can come with.
This one of your hunches, Anderson? Did something happen at the lake?
I think Nightingale came up from that direction. From the lake. Probably looking for shelter. Safety. They were waiting for him.
When you're ready, I'd love to hear what you put together so far.
Sure. It's
Hit
not
him
that
with it.
complicated.
I love this.
Nightingale was out in the woods alone at night. Possibly
He's telling
knew.
you everything you need
The
to know.
killers knew
actually.
he was
Listen.
here, ambushed him, dragged him to the campgrounds, strapped him to the table, cut his heart out. But then they were interrupted by those witnesses, the Bookers. The job is unfinished.
That seems pretty complicated to me. What was this guy doing skinny dipping at this time of year?
Haven't figured
That's
that
the
part
hard
out yet.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lots of questions.
Lots of answers for us to find.
I didn't know trees got that big.
Damn, dude.
Gives me the creeps.
You need to get out more. It is kind of creepy,
Nah,
though.
dude, that's a big ass tree. That's the fucking Erd tree. Jesus. Damn, try to cut that down and bring it to New York at Rockefeller Center. Holy crap. Wow. 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 No tree should be that large. How do y'all not have a fence around this thing and aren't charging people $30 a pop to just touch it? But yeah, if you were looking for a summary of what's happened so far in the game, that's exactly what happened. The person I'm investigating right now was the person we started the game as. A naked, bald man.